Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials, grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Allen. Here. LaFour.
Here.
Mistrovich.
Here.
Ricks.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Yelenich.
Here.
Good to see everybody here tonight. We need approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting of June 2nd. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. If you'd like to address council, we ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address, and you've got 3 minutes. We have a big meeting tonight.
Thank you so much. My name is Lisa Bosca. My address is 34647 Wisteria in Swan Creek. I just wanted to come here and introduce myself. I've been a resident here for 6.5 years. About a year ago, I started a nonprofit called Compassionate Wings, and I help those that are unhoused, new to recovery, and then the students in all of our districts in Macomb County. I just kind of wanted to introduce myself. I'm going to be having some fundraisers up at the Odd. I'm working with Lisa to get those scheduled, and I just wanted to say hello.
Well, hello.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to address the council at this time? We will move on. Adoption of agenda, Mr. City Manager, any changes?
No changes.
City Council, any changes? Motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
I'll make the motion. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There's no discussion according to our rules. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We now have a public hearing for the consideration of adoption of the fiscal year 2025-26 budget. We need a motion to open that hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 budget at 7:02 p.m.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. The public hearing is open. Mr. City Manager?
The total city budget is $12.8 million, including a $5.6 million general fund budget. The City Council held 3 budget workshop meetings in April and May to review the budget, and the proposed budget reflects the modifications made by City Council during those workshops. The budget calls for a tax levy of 15.5039 mils for general operating purposes, which includes funding from TIFA and the general fund equal to a set aside of 1.17 mils for street improvements. The city does not currently levy any mills for debt. The city will also levy a 1% administration fee on all tax collections and a flat fee of $232.76 annually per collection unit for refuse, yard waste, and curbside recycling services.
Thank you. We open it to the floor. If anybody would like to speak to this, you guys want more money for your departments or anything, now would be the time. Okay, we move on. Mark, are your prices going up at all this year? Should we?
Well, they should, but for now, no.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, sir.
It's been a while since I've been here, so I don't think I should show up late or not for a while and then ask for money. So thank you very much.
We appreciate that from our city attorney. Thank you very much. If there's no other public comments, motion to close would be in order.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 budget at 7:04 p.m.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Now we move on to First item for consideration, which we have 6 this evening. The first one being consideration of adoption of Resolution 2025-4, approval of the fiscal year 2025-26 budget. Mr. City Manager?
As mentioned during the public hearing, the City Council and Administration met several times in April and May to work on the city budget. Our total funds equal $12.8 million, and there's a $5.6 million general fund budget. The resolution before you tonight that adopts the budget also sets the millage rate at 15.5039 mils, which is the same millage rate as last year. We did not have a rollback this year. And the resolution also adopts the 6-year capital outlay plan, the 2025 through 2031 capital improvement plan, where we try and forecast major capital improvements in the coming 6 years. So,
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-4, which adopts the City of Richmond fiscal 2025-2026 budget, appropriates the necessary funds for each fund of the city, adopts the 2025 to 2031 capital outlay program, directs the levy of taxes, fees for municipal purposes, directs the preparation of the tax roll and collection of taxes.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Well, for public's knowledge, this city council, along with the administration, every single director of every department, met 3 different times to scrutinize the budget, which we've done for a number of years now. And we're not, those of us that are sitting here are not experts on budgeting, but we've gotten close because we've been, over the years, we've learned a lot about proper budgeting and looking into the future. So I want to take this opportunity to, again, thank the council for taking out their personal time to attend more meetings than what we normally would at any time of the year. This is something that we really put a lot of time and work into, and this pretty much sets the tone for the next year. So, you know, again, I think we came up with a great budget. If everything remains the same, again, I take the opportunity amongst villages and cities, when it comes to homestead property taxes, we are the 2nd lowest in Macomb County. So we just need to tell people more and more, we give a lot of services for the tax money that we bring in. And we're constantly hearing from those people that look at our funds each year in the audit, who do many other communities, telling us that we have done a great job of utilizing what we do have here. So that's thanks to the administration and Angel with the iron fist over there, our treasurer, and John and the rest of your group, and City Council for going through line by line on this item. So we take this very seriously because it does set the tone for the rest of the year. And we all live here and we all pay taxes. Some people think we don't pay taxes for some reason. We all pay taxes. So we watch the money very closely. So is there any other comments on this? Is there any audience comments on this? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 2 is consideration approving fiscal year 2025-26 fee schedule. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider adopting the fiscal year 2025 through 2026 city fee schedule. Our fiscal year budget starts July 1st and ends June 30th. So each year after we adopt the budget, we then follow it up with any fee schedule changes per the charter. And so this year we have some changes in the police department, mainly wording there. The recreation department, due to all the new minimum wage laws, there's some increases to camp and the swim lessons, as well as last year or the year before, the council and rec board did set the rental rates for the odd that last year got inadvertently left off the city fee schedule, so they're in there. The sewer service, we did change the summer sewer discount, and then a slight change in water rates of only 9 cents per 1,000 gallons. So those are all the fee schedules changes that we had.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the City of Richmond fiscal year 2025 to 2026 fee schedule as presented by the city manager.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Discussion. The odd fees, since somehow that didn't get put on the fee schedule. They didn't change.
No, they didn't change. It was just, we were adding them in from what council had previously
Yeah,
approved.
okay,
Yes.
okay, that was my.
We had talked about some minor changes, but since we have not reviewed those, that'd be like a next year change.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
okay, very good. Any other questions or comments? Any audience questions or comments on this? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to item number 3, consideration of special event requests from the Moose. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider a special event request from the Richmond Moose Lodge, number 2575, to erect a 10 by 20 tent to be set up in the back along the Lane Street right-of-way, the undeveloped Lane Street right-of-way that runs behind the Moose Lodge, for a small wedding on Saturday, June 21st. It was mentioned before the meeting that we accidentally put a 20 by 20 tent when it's actually 10 by 20, so.
Thank you. President Scope, would you like to address City Council?
I'm Tammy Misko, President of Richmond Moose Lodge. Better?
Yeah, so they can hear you at home,
I'll
Tammy.
by
They
myself.
can't hear you at home unless you speak into the microphone.
Thank you. I'm Tammy Misko, President of the Richmond Moose Lodge, 2575. It's located at 68230 Grand Trunk Avenue. We are having a small micro wedding, our first wedding at the Moose Lodge, and approximately 50 to 60 people. We only have, per fire law, room for 50 people in the back room, so we're putting a tent that should support another 20 people. It is 10 by 20. It is on the Lane Street easement, and we have been told that it is better to ask permission than beg forgiveness. So we are asking permission. The tent will be put up by Friday afternoon and taken down Sunday evening, and at the very latest Monday morning, which would be the 22nd, 23rd at the latest. Depends on the volunteers that we have and the availability, but at the very latest Monday morning, the plan is to have it down Sunday afternoon.
Very good. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event request from Richmond Moose Lodge to allow for the placement of a 10 by 20 tent partially into the Lane Street right-of-way on Friday, June 20th until Sunday, June 22nd.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Tammy, does anybody have any questions of Tammy on this? You're good.
Thank you all so
Thank
much
you.
for your time.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna take my
And thank you for
grandson
coming in and doing this,
I
because it is much
appreciate
better
y'all.
to let us know.
I get happy to see y'all again.
Yeah.
Great summer.
Have a great wedding.
Thank you, I'm excited.
Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 4, consideration of special event requests from the Lois Wagner Memorial Library. Mr. City Manager?
City Council is scheduled to consider a special event request for a mobile food vendor from the Lois Wagner Memorial Library to have one mobile food vendor, the Kona Ice Truck, on Thursday, July 31st from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. As part of their end-of-the-year party for their summer reading program. Council has previously approved this same request in the last few years.
Thank you. Julianne, would you like to address this?
Sure. This is, I think, the 5th year we've been doing this, and the kids really love it. We had over 100 finishers last year, so we always hope to, increase those numbers, and this is a big motivator for them. So, and it's made possible by the friends and pretty much everyone who supports our sales throughout the year. So, this is what we get to do with that. So,
Good, good. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event request for the mobile food vendor from the Lois Wagner Memorial Library to have Kona Ice Truck on Thursday, July 31st from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. for the summer reading program party.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this item? As stated, this has been a number of years that they've done this. Any audience participation on this? Chief, is you guys going over there and get your ice cream, or? Yeah, I figured that. I saw him putting it on his calendar while we were talking about it. Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Okay, item number 5 is consideration of screw press procurement. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving the purchase of a screw press for the wastewater treatment plant that is part of our EPA funding. The 25-26 budget that was just approved includes funding for the installation of the screw press at the treatment plant. The lead time on the piece of equipment is considerable, and so even though we just approved this and we haven't started our new budget, Jim has come to request that we approve this purchase so that we can get it ordered. I believe even by getting it ordered now, it's still not going to be until likely April of next year. So, but we want to get that ordered as soon as possible. And
Thank
Jim
you.
is here if you have questions.
Jim, you like to add to that at all?
So the screw press is at the wastewater plant, our solids byproduct, if you will. We most of the influent is water, liquid, and that gets sent out, and we store the rest. So we currently have liquid sludge, that we call it, that we land apply. We also take some to a landfill. The council's authorized purchase of those geo bags or geo tubes in the past. This is a third option, which is intended to become our primary option. So the screw press dewaters that sludge, which when it comes to the end of the treatment train is still significantly water. It's 98% water. So this would reduce that water content drastically, allow us to store it, and then either dispose of it. Initially, it will be, the intention is at a landfill, but it's again cheaper to haul solids than water, so that'll still reduce how much we take to a landfill. But ultimately, it may become classified where it doesn't have to go to landfill, and so that'll further reduce our costs at the plant. So this is a significant investment, but we've run into issues with trying to dispose of these solids through land application, just because things have changed, our standards, requirements at the state, and then also finding fields that we can, that are willing to allow us to apply this. So this is a good change, a good improvement to the wastewater plant for the long term. And it will ultimately pay for itself. Of course, we have a significant amount of grant money to do this, but even without the grant money, this would be a fairly quick turnaround based on our estimation of cost savings annually. So,
Very good, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of a screw press, polymer blending unit, and screw conveyor from Huber Technology Incorporated in an amount of $495,000 with expense charge the appropriate line item, wastewater treatment equipment replacement fund.
Support. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this item?
I just wanted to remind the residents, I've said in the past that the plant is constantly needing maintenance, upkeep, and then improvements. So we don't have to do it all at one time. So we do this each year, spending money to maintain it. And this is a great improvement that's going to pay for itself.
Yep. Did I read someplace that, I'm not seeing it right now, but I thought I read someplace where other communities are using the same
so
system?
Mount Clemens has installed this same manufacturer screw press, this unit, or actually two of them, and a little larger because they're a bigger community. But this is definitely becoming popular, I'll say. But there's quite a few communities in Michigan that that currently use this process.
Good, good. So it's time tested somewhat?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great, great. Any other comments, questions? Any audience participation in this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Moving on, the last item is consideration establishing the quarterly workshop meeting date. Mr. City Manager?
Council is being asked to schedule its quarterly roundtable meeting date for July. The quarterly roundtable provides the opportunity for the council to discuss specific areas of concern in detail in a workshop format without taking formal action on those matters. Roundtable meetings are normally scheduled for the months of January, April, July, and October. One thing that you may want to consider when scheduling this, we normally do it the second meeting in July due to the 4th of July holiday. But the July and August meetings for the city council have been moved forward to 6 o'clock. So often our roundtable meetings start at 5:30. That council may want to consider that that may not be a lot of time to start discussions and then break for the regular meeting. We may want to consider just scheduling it for after the regular meeting if we do that same night.
Thank you. Would council like to drop our rules and discuss this before a motion is made?
Yes.
Okay. Consensus? Okay. So how's that 21st work for everybody? Okay, that sounds good.
Right now, it works.
So,
Works good.
would you like to do it following the meeting on the 21st? That sound good?
The only question I had is, I think we had an item that was postponed until that same night, because we were gonna potentially talk about that at the workshop.
The item, yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know,
Maybe we
Or
should
we
start at
post-
5:30.
or do we postpone that item till the first August meeting if we wanted to?
I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
Right, 'cause we were
I've got
kinda-
you now.
That's kind of what we
Yes.
talked to the
Yeah, we
applicant
talked about that. We would have a decision at that time.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know, but I thought we wanted to look at that overall, having, animals in the city and try to,
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
We could still do it, I just think we'd have to then, make sense to move that then to the August meeting. Or else we potentially try to meet before the 21st on an off day, but.
We could always do that, possibly. Why don't we check with the administration, see if that's possible to do that, where we would talk on just that subject in a workshop setting after a regular meeting. Would you have time? 'Cause that would be the July 7th meeting.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, because there were some
Yeah,
issues there
There's
that-
some issues there. I was kind of planning on the timing here. Or a special, we
meeting
can,
date, I don't know.
we can try for the
17th.
7th. If it's not, then,
We can always call
Yeah.
for a meeting. you
Right,
know,
right, yeah, well-
Before that 21st, if you come up with the information.
yeah.
Council's pretty fluid as far as getting together on another non,
yeah.
Monday night.
We will definitely try our best to have it ready for the 7th, and I think we can. I
Okay.
just- Yep.
If that's what it takes. Otherwise, the 21st, following the regular council meeting? Okay, is
It's
there a
either
motion?
that, Mayor, the 14th,
Yeah.
prior, the off
A Monday.
Monday.
Mm-hmm,
Do the workshop and everything on that Monday.
We could.
we could. It's up to you guys.
Good for me.
Everybody make it on the
I would
14th?
like to see it on the 14th
Yeah.
at 5:30.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's good for me.
okay.
Can make that work.
Everybody's good with that? No, okay, let's have a motion to that effect.
I'll make the motion to schedule a special quarterly round table meeting of the city council on
14th?
July 14th at 5:30. at City
Support.
Hall.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Any audience participation on this? This will be a workshop. It is open to the public. It will be held right here at City Hall at 5:30 on the 14th. We'll be talking about many different things, including the request for animals other than birds in the city limits. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Okay, we move on to miscellaneous matters from the city manager, sir.
Just the city parking lot was striped this morning. Last week it got the asphalt all put down. The fencing, the masonry columns are done. We're just waiting for the limestone caps, and then they'll install the metal fencing panels in between after the caps are in. So wrapping that project up. Oak and Pre-Step to get the base course all paved, so much easier to drive down those streets. They'll eventually be adjusting manholes and doing the wearing course in the future. The end of this month, the contractors intended to come in and begin the Main Street water main replacement.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Council comments. Michael?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Dennis? Jimmy?
Just that the parking lot looks beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
It truly does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did a fine job.
Emily?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
John?
Nothing.
Nick? All set. Congratulations, Richmond Blue Devils girls softball winning the state championship. I talked to John. We will be inviting them here at our next regular meeting on the 7th to congratulate them. And they did a great job. Worked very hard to get where they were. Team came together, from what I was told, at the right time, and that has a lot to do with the coaching there at Richmond. So congratulations to everybody that was involved with that championship. Go to the calendar here. Where are we at? Well, I got myself in July here already. It's coming soon enough. We have a TIFA meeting on the 25th here at City Hall at 7 o'clock. The Historical Society will be having their annual festival on the 28th and the 29th. That's Saturday and Sunday. And that, again, is located at the Historical Society's area there in Bailey Park, across from Beebe Park. Tuesday, July 1st at 7 o'clock will be the Recreation Board meeting. And of course, the City Hall, Library, and Community Center will be closed on the 4th of July, which falls on Friday. They will be closed both Friday and Saturday, reopening on Monday. The next regular City Council meeting is going to be held on the 7th, and the start time for the summer will be 6 o'clock right here at City Hall. Is there anything else that we had to add to the calendar at this time? Okay, we move on. We do have a closed session. We need a motion to go into that closed session.
I'll make a motion to convene into closed session in accordance with Section 8C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976, as amended, for strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement as requested by administration.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on that? Being not, roll call, please.
Mr.
Yes.
Yelenich.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Ricks.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
LaFour.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Motion does pass. We'll take a 5-minute break before we go into closed session. We need a motion here to move back into open session. Do we have one?
I'll make a motion to reconvene into open session.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on the motion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We're back in open session. We move on to other business. The first one being approval of tentative agreement with the Teamsters. Mr. City Manager?
We have reached a tentative agreement that we went over with the Teamsters Local 214 that represents our DPW and clerical staff at the library and City Hall.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the tentative agreement with the Teamsters Local 214 signed on June 4th, 2025.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on this item? Just like to thank the administration in working with the Teamster employees and the Teamster employees too for having a good negotiation with our administration. We appreciate everything that came out. It's a fair contract as council's looked at it this evening, and we're very happy that we were able to get that taken care of before the next contract is up. So thank you to your administration, John.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We also have approval of non-affiliated raises also. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to provide the same raise to the full-time, non-affiliated, and permanent part-time employees as approved for the Teamsters for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this item? This is almost like a Me Too. Some people realize what Me Too's are. It's kind of like a Me Too when we negotiate with our employees. We feel it's only fair to give our administrative department directors, whatnot, the same type of contract.
Yeah,
So,
it's been past practice for department directors to be tied to the Teamsters.
yeah, it's worked well, and I think it's very fair. Any other comments on this? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in support of the adjournment motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We are adjourned. Thanks for being with us.